After purchasing an autographed baseball card for $85, its value increases by $1.50 each year. Part A, draw a sketch of the function, label all axes. And Part B, write a function to model the value of the card after T years, clearly defining your variables. So parts A and B kind of go together, so we'll attack these at the same time. So it looks like we have two quantities that are related here. We have the value of the baseball card and the amount of time that has passed, which is measured in years. So the first question is, which of these is your independent variable and which one is your dependent variable? So you're asking yourself, does my value of the card depend on how long I've owned it, the time, or does the time depend on the value of the card? Hopefully the first sentence made more sense. The value of the card depends on how long I have owned the card. So therefore, when we go to draw a sketch, that means that the value of the card is dependent. I'm going to use V for value. So the value of the card will be my y-axis, and then my time, how many years I have owned the card, is independent. The value depends on the time. So let me go ahead and define the variables, which is what part B asks for. So basically, we're going to let T be the number of years that I have owned the card. So T is time, but always indicate the actual unit of time. Don't just say T equals time. It might be seconds, it might be minutes. In this case, it's years. And then V is the value of the card. So I'll say the value, but also important to write what it's being measured in. So this is the value of the card measured in dollars. So we've got my V axis, which is my vertical axis, and my T axis for time, which is my horizontal axis. I'm actually going to go ahead and label those axes a little bit more. So T is number of years. That's my horizontal axis. And V is my value. And then I'll put a little dollar sign to indicate that we're measuring that in dollars. I'm also going to use a table because a table is a great way to organize the information that you've been given. So that's another good problem-solving strategy. It says that the card was purchased for $85. So that means at time 0, which is when I initially bought the card, its value is $85. And then the value is increasing, so it's going up by $1.50 each year I own the card. So let's fill in our table here. After 1 year of owning the card, my value increases by $1.50, which would mean that my value of the card would be $86.50. Let's do another one. After an additional year, so that would be T equals 2 years, we add another $1.50, which means the value of the card would be $88. So now we've really organized the information that we were given in a table, and we can transition to a graph. So at time 0, we have a value of 85. And rather than including a whole bunch of tick marks, maybe like going by fives or something, since this is just a sketch, I'm going to indicate that I have a break in my graph, and then I'm going to go ahead and choose this first tick mark to represent 85. So I have a point here at 0, 85. And then since I need to go up to $86.50 and then again up to $88, I'm going to go ahead and just count by ones. And that's why the break in the graph is really important to indicate, because I am not obviously going by ones the entire time. I jump from 0 to $85 and then I'm counting by $1 each time from there. So indicating the break is important. Now, along my horizontal axis for time, I'm going to just go ahead and count in increments of 1 year. And it is important that you label at least a few of these so that you indicate what your scale is. What are you counting by? So at time 1, I have a value of $86.50. And we'll plot that point. So 186.50 is approximately right here. And then 288 will be approximately right there. And that's really enough information to go ahead and sketch my line. Now, before I just draw it, I want you to really think about whether or not it should go forever in both directions. So if you think about it, it's not going to go forever here on the left. I would not want to put an arrow on this side because in the context of this problem, it doesn't make sense to have negative time. So negative time doesn't make sense, therefore we don't put an arrow on that side. However, it would make sense to extend our line on the right-hand side with an arrow because the value will continue to increase as time increases. So we notice that this relationship is linear. We have a graph of a line here, and we can choose the slope-intercept form of a line to help us write the equation, essentially. So if you think about the slope-intercept form of a line being y equals mx plus b, in this case, my y-axis is my v-axis, so I really have my value of the card. And now let's think about our slope. I want you to think about it graphically, but I also want to look at it in the table. If we were to pick my initial value, let's say of 85, and count, if we were to go up my change in value and over, I would be going up $1.50 and over 1 year. And then that would happen again, up $1.50 and over 1 year. That's showing that our slope is $1.50. That's my rate of change. Looking at my table, I go from 0 to 1, so that's my change in time. And then from 85 to 86.50 is my change in value. So remember, slope is your change in value over change in time, which is definitely $1.50 divided by 1, which simplifies to be just $1.50. So now I have V is equal to $1.50. And rather than using X, remember my input variable was T for the number of years, plus my initial value. So looking in my table here, when time was 0, my value was 85. And on my graph, that's my y-intercept, or in this case, my v-intercept. So that's going to be 85. And to use function notation, rather than writing v, we can write v of t, meaning the value is a function of time. So that would be even more precise. My function or my equation would be v of t equals a 1.50 t plus 85. Now in part C, we want to determine the card's value after 7 years. So we've been given a time value. So we're basically substituting 7 in for time. That means we're computing the value at 7 years, v of 7, which will be 1.5 times 7 plus 85. And you can definitely grab a calculator to do that computation, which gives $95.50. So I like you to write a sentence summarizing what you've just found. And so we basically are finding that the card is worth $95.50 in 7 years. Or you could say in 7 years, the card will be worth $95.50. Same thing. Part D, how long will it take for the value of the card to increase to $115? So this time I've been given a value, V. So now we are going to be substituting 115 in for V in my equation, which is 115 is equal to 1.5t plus 85. It's also good to notice we're searching for how long it will take, which means we're solving for time in this case. So we'll need to subtract 85 from both sides. So if you subtract 85, then 115 minus 85 will leave us with 30 is equal to 1.5t, and then divide both sides by 1.5, and t will equal 20. So let's write a summary sentence. If t is equal to 20, that means it will take 20 years for the value of the card to be $115. Now let's move on to part E, where we want to find the domain and the range in this context. So remember, the domain is the set of input values. So when we look at our variable key, we're talking about the values for time. And because we talked about how time can't be negative, it makes sense that time would start at 0 and then time could continue to increase. So we can do a bracket on 0 because time could be equal to 0. That would be initially when we bought the card. And then time can increase to infinity. And you can leave your answer like this, bracket 0 to infinity, or if you want to go ahead and use the more kind of advanced mathematical notation, you can say time is an element of this interval. And that element symbol kind of looks like a capital E, but it's curved. That's your element symbol. So time could be an element of the interval from 0 to infinity. And then our range are the set of output values. So in this case, we're talking about the value of the card. So this would be V. And the card was initially worth $85. So it's never worth less than that because it says that the value only increases. So that would be from $85 and then it increases indefinitely to infinity. And again, for the range, you could write the value V is an element of this interval. So that would be the domain and the range in this context.